NASCAR.
Yeah, that's what children are like all the time, right?
You know all about what children are like. You go to museums and you see how so many of them actually recently are now stripping themselves of the sponsorship money that they agreed to take from the fossil fuel industry, because the fossil fuel industry would go into these institutions, science institutions, the British Museum, the Tate Museum, science museum groups, and would put their money there so they could place their logo next to real science to create the illusion that they were doing real science. The public got wind of this, got angry, and many of those have since been repealed. But at the same time, we still see these companies trying to get in front of you. And social media is one driver where we see this happening all the time. Just recently, oftentimes you could even go on the pages of many of these fossil fuel companies, and they will be like, oh my God, we love renewable energy, we love solar, we love wind, we totally have that. And then you look at their balance sheets, and they're investing less than 1% of their money in any sort of R&D or applications of those sustainable energies into the world. And so there's this act of lying and deception where they're trying to create the illusion that they're the good guys. They've created the problem. They're trying to feed us that they are the solution as well. And a recent case, Client Earth sued BP for creating these false impressions online, and actually BP had to withdraw the ads. Greenwashing. We're seeing greenwashing, we're seeing woke washing, where you'll even see fossil fuel companies try and promote women's rights and social justice, the LGBTQ, yes, queen.
Why is that a bad thing? We're here, we're trying to support, we're trying to do progressive causes, we're trying to recognize our own stuff. Because if we didn't do that, then you'd say, why aren't you guys supporting, all these marginalized communities? And when we do it, you're like, why are you doing that? What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, what you're supposed to do is support renewable energy so that we can actually have a...
Sir, who are you?
And there's always a constant irony of, we're supporting women, we're supporting all of these marginalized communities, but they're the ones marginalizing the communities, right? And to that point, I'd like to share a personal anecdote where I myself have been a victim of bad fossil fuel advertising. So a couple years back, the media platform Business Insider wrote a profile piece on me and the work that I do to mobilize young people and people of color to get out and vote and take action in our democracy.
Fake news.
Well, it's interesting that you call it fake news, because when you look at the article, every other paragraph was an ad from ExxonMobil.
Yeah!
Fake news!
I'm starting to feel like you guys are maybe not on our side, and it's making them uncomfortable.
Oh my God, we're making them nervous. And so it goes to show how they're trying to create this ecosystem of disinformation, particularly targeting young people who might not know all the facts, going for older folks who are trying to make sense of all of these developments that are happening constantly with fossil fuel emissions and all these changes that we're seeing in the world. People are just trying to make sense of it. And to close, I'd like to address recently, I was with the Secretary General of the United Nations, where I've worked as a consultant, and more facts, some of us do things besides be oily around children. And the Secretary General made very clear and made a global demand for nations across the world that they should stop advertising for fossil fuel companies, because they are actively creating disinformation, creating dismay, creating chaos for the entire world, and perpetuating an outdated, irrelevant system that ultimately is wreaking havoc all across the world. And I believe we need to organize, mobilize, vote, and take action against the people who are actively destroying the planet that we love so much.
Thank you very much.